Today we're going to look at how minority groups were affected by the New Deal. Particularly, we're going to look at Native Americans. Many minority groups were affected particularly strongly, positive or negatively, by the New Deal. Fortunately for Native Americans, the New Deal was one of the first times in United States history with pro-Native American legislation, thanks to one man, John Collier. FDR used John Collier in order to form the legislature, which later became the Indian Reorganization Act of 1934. This act was one of the first pieces of pro-Native American legislature. It had many positive effects. However, it can be argued controversially to have also been used in order to tighten the grasp of the United States government on the works of Native American affairs. In fact, many tribes decided not to use this legislature for many reasons.
The Indian Reorganization Act of 1934 was first suggested by John Collier, Secretary of the Internal. It gave back land to Indian reservations and allowed them to start building their own schools instead of sending their children off to Native American boarding schools. Some tribes didn't particularly like this because they thought that it was just another ploy by the government to look over their shoulder and tell them what to do. Some tribes also had just gotten too used to the white farmer way of life.
Some very prominent tribes that rejected the Indian Reorganization Act include the Crow, the Klamath, and the Navajo tribes. These three tribes and others voted in a majority to not allow this act to pertain to them, as per a clause in the act. However, the act, still in effect to those that did not choose to abstain, allows very special privileges to the tribes that it affects. One of the greatest accomplishments of the Reorganization Act is the fact that it allows tribes to run economic establishments. This allows them to circumvent state laws and codes due to their being a sovereign nation, and to run their own financial companies, which allowed Native Americans in some cases to rise above the poverty which they had been so long shoved into. The perhaps largest example of this, and most widely known today, is the Indian casinos prevalent throughout the United States. Without the Indian Reorganization Act, such businesses would not be allowed. In the United States, casinos are not profitable by any means, due to state regulation, law, and code. Because Native American reservations do not have such laws and codes apply to their land, that this allows casinos to be a large source of revenue to several tribes. This, perhaps, is one of the longest standing legacies of the Reorganization Act,